eyes are, of course, trained towards the dire humanitarian crisis as well. We've known that about 36,000 people have fled their homes after El Fasher was taken over. Meanwhile, we're tracking more news coming in. Pirates have attacked a Malta-flagged products tanker off the Somalian coast. This has reignited concerns for shipping lanes used to transport critical energy and goods to global markets. As the attack took place, the crew took refuge in a fortified safe room and remain in control of the vessel. Maritime security forces stated that pirates opened fire on the tanker and also fired rocket-propelled grenades as well. The European Union's naval force stated that one of its assets was close to the incident and is closing in. It is ready to take appropriate action to respond effectively to this alert. The shipping route has long been attacked by pirates. The last hijacking in the region took place in December 2023 when the Maltese-flagged MV Ruin was taken by assailants to the Somali coast before Indian naval forces freed the crew and arrested the attackers. Of course, there has been relative calm along the Red Sea shipping route as well and the Gulf of Aden shipping route for quite a while now. But we're once again seeing these Somalian attackers coming out, these pirates coming out and attacking a Malta-flagged vessel. Incidentally, it was a Malta-flagged vessel that was attacked earlier in December 2023 as well. With us on the broadcast is Dr. Tolit Atia, African Affairs expert, joining us from Kampala in Uganda. Thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us on NewsX World. What do you make at the outset of this renewed pirate attack, and what does this indicate of the larger maritime security environment of the Somalian coast? It has been rather tumultuous. We've seen numerous such attacks, but there was a relative period of calm last year itself and for a majority of this year.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me once again. You see, the issue of Somalia largely remains an unresolved issue. There have been punctuations of peace. There have been multiple engagements trying to resolve this. But I really think at the moment, one, there is an indication of international fatigue on the matters of Somalia. The other is that, of course, the other conflicts, the new conflicts internationally, including the Ukraine, and then in relation to maritime, look at the Huis who have taken the American interest. You find that Somalia finds itself in a situation of, a cul-de-sac situation, where I think increasingly the internal disparities, specifically between the elders and the warring groups, really need to get down and begin to rethink how they want to achieve peace. Because consolidation of peace in Somalia definitely will only arise when there is an attempt of an inclusive process. In as long as Mogadishu finds itself with sections of the territory like Djibouti, Puntland, and Somaliland, still out of that polity, the insurgents, just like the pirates, will continue to find every little gap, lapse, and we are going to see more of these incidences, especially on maritime security.
Indeed, sir. And speaking of, likelihood, do you think that we can see a resurgence in piracy in the near future, returning to, the spate of attacks we'd seen back in 2023?
Yeah, I think that is very likely. One thing that we need to understand is that the Trump approach to administration and strategy has definitely caused a lot of shocks in different arenas, spheres, and perspectives. Because what is now preoccupying Trump centrally is the impact of China. What is really under the USA radar is China. And I think because of this, and additionally, the question of their decreased or cut investments around the world, even in supporting peace and security, which of course has been quite substantial. This creates weaknesses, and the warring parties are going to take advantage of this, as I said. The other, of course, is the challenge of the internal groups failing to find dialogue as an option. Because the question of inclusion is now very important. There is a very young generation across Africa, including in Somalia. So these youngsters are in a quest for jobs, they're in a quest for employment, they're in a quest of acceptance in society. So it is possible that they're going to be lured in very many different ways. And the very one thing that needs to come to the fore and needs to be discussed seriously, particularly by the AU and its Security Council, Commission, is that I think there is need to urge African states to understand that investment, peace, and security should be a paramount issue for these countries. These countries need to know that peace and security is probably the only investment that Africa needs for Africa to stabilize and grow. But in as long as they are waiting for outsiders to be able to invest in peace and security, the African peace and security architecture will never hold.
Indeed, sir. Requesting you to stay on with us as we're tracking further updates, this time from Ethiopia. We're now learning that Ethiopia's interim Tigray authorities have dismissed claims from neighboring Afar that Tigrayan forces had seized villages and bombed civilians, calling the accusations baseless and part of an evil plot against the Tigray people. Afar officials had alleged that 6 villages were captured and shelled with mortars and heavy artillery. While a fragile peace had largely held, tensions between the federal government in Addis Ababa and the Tigray People's Liberation Front have escalated in recent months. The TPLF was officially removed from Ethiopia's list of political parties in May amid internal divisions. Federal authorities have also accused the group of re-establishing ties with Eritrea, whose past conflicts with Ethiopia include a border war between 1998 and 2000 that killed tens of thousands of people. So with us on the broadcast is Dr. Tolit Attia. Interesting development coming in. We've of course seen a lot of tension between the people of Tigray and the federal government in Ethiopia, of course exacerbated due to the TPLF now being removed from the list of political parties as well. It was a ceasefire in 2022, but it is quite fragile at the moment. Could this, what we're witnessing right now, then risk the re-emergence of hostilities in northern Ethiopia?
Yes, most definitely, because the issue of Ethiopia, North Ethiopia, was really never completely resolved. What we saw happen was just basically, compromise, and probably, if you like, in terms of military terms, they just needed some period of rest and then begin to rethink. And just like I said before, you see, there is violence is now dotting across. We've seen it in West Africa. We've seen it in Central Africa. We're seeing it in Cameroon. And these young people, particularly with the presence of television and internet today, which has also become a front line, many of these people are seeing these views, they are seeing these actions, and I really want to tell you, violence begets violence. These images are very attractive to these young people, and in as long as the question and the quest for young people is not resolved as a leadership issue in Africa, we are yet to see so many escalations across Africa. I think definitely it's time that some of these leaders, I mean, I cannot fathom it. Look at a 92-year-old trying to become president again.
Yes.
And insisting in Cameroon. This is just not acceptable. It is time the African leaders actually realize that the young people are pushing forward, and as long as they are giving them to participate, it does not give opportunity for including both social and economic. Africa not going next. So that come as a surprise to me.
All right, so with that, I'd like to thank you for taking our time and sharing your analysis with us on NewsX World. And speaking of Cameroon, Paul Biya, Cameroon's president for 43 years, was sworn in for an 8th term on Thursday after a contested election that sparked mass protests. The 92-year-old won with 53.7% of the vote against Issa Chiroma Bakari, who received 35.2%. Chiroma, a former ally turned opposition leader, continues to claim that he is the true winner of the polls. His calls for Dead City operations led to mixed results across the country. The government reportedly plans to press charges against him. The violent crackdown on protesters has drawn international condemnation, with both the EU and AU condemning the response. The United Nations has called for an investigation into the unrest.